Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Aimi Natasya Apli. My matric number is 058850 and I'm from Diploma Information Technology and I will present about computer crime and internet. So, let's start. Okay, so right now I will explain about introduction. So cybercrime is defined as a crime committed using a computer and a network. It's possible that the computer was used to commit a crime or that it was the intended target. Cybercrime can jeopardize a person's security and financial well-being when confidential information is intercepted or disclosed, whether lawfully or illegally. There are numerous privacy concerns. Cybercrime is committed by both government and non-governmental entities on a global scale, including espionage, financial theft, and other cross-border crime. Cyber warfare is a term used to describe cybercrime that crosses international borders and involves the action of at least one nation state. Cybercrime, according to Warren Buffett, is the number one problem with civilization and poses genuine risk to humanity. Okay, so first we will go to the copyright violation. So the introduction of copyright violation is the use of words protected by copyright law without permission for a purpose for which permission is required. There will be infringing on the copyright holder's exclusive rights, such as the right to reproduce, distribute, display, or perform the protected word, as well as the right to create derivative words. So the definition of copyright violation as a general matter, copyright infringement occurs when a copyrighted work is reproduced, distributed, performed, publicly displayed, or made into a derivative work without the permission of the copyright owner. So the features of copyright violation is reproduced in any material from forms, performs, show, or play, or distributes to the public, and import any article into Malaysia for the purpose of trade or financial gains. So the disadvantage of copyright violation is a limited dissemination and limited protection, limited duration and cost. So the importance of copyright violation is a copyright infringement, especially for products made in industrialist countries were commonplace. But with growing awareness about the importance of copyright, there has been decrease in the case reported. Pressure from internationally counterparts and companies too has forced the government to be tough against copyright infringements. Okay, so next. So we will go to the real case of copyright violation. It's a Rogers versus Kunz. The crime that was done, photographer Art Rogers shot a photograph of a couple holding a line of puppies in a row and sold it for use in greeting cards and similar products. So the criminals of this real case is internationally renowned artist Jeff Koons in the process of creating an exhibit on the banality of everyday items ran across Rogers' photograph and used it to create a set of sets of based on the image. So the punishment and conviction as Koons' defense was rejected under the argument that he could have used generic source to make the same statement without copying Rogers' work. Koons was forced to pay a monetary settlement to Rogers. So here you can know about any relevant information about the real case Rogers versus Koons. So we'll go to the next. The next is cyber terrorism. So we will explain the introduction of cyber terrorism is the use of the internet to carry out or threaten violent activities that result in or threaten the death or serious bodily harm of others in order to obtain political or ideological advantage through fear or intimidation. So the definition is due to the difficulties of defining the term terrorism, assigning a precise meaning to cyber terrorism can be problematic. So the features of cyber terrorism is a difficulty that identifying attackers and lack of boundaries. So the importance about cyber terrorism is hacking is the leading cause of data breaches and hacked data is irrelevant bias and unreliable for auditors. So the disadvantage of cyber terrorism is if you can have an account on Hotmail, Yahoo, or a site is vulnerable to hacks. This service allows an unlimited number of log-on attempts. So the next is that the user not notified when a number of failed login attempts have occurred. So yeah, so this is a real case of cyber terrorism about the Republic of Korea. So the crimes that were done is according to 2016, they like Asia Pacific Defense Outlook South Korea's cyber risk score was 884 out of 1000, and South Korea is found to be the most vulnerable country to cyber attacks in the Asia Pacific region. So the criminal case of Republic of Korea is in 2017, a ransomware attack harassed private companies and users who experienced personal information leakage. So this is about relevant information about Republic of Korea. So we will go. Okay. So next we will go to the cyber squatting. So the introduction of cyber squatting, according to the United States federal law, known as the Anti-Cyber Squatting Consumer Protection Act, is registering, trafficking in, or using an internet domain name with bad faith intent to profit from the goodwill of a trademark belonging to someone else. So the definition of a cyber squatting is that the term cyber squatting refers to the unauthorized registration and use of the internet domain names that are identical or similar to trademarks, service marks, company names, or personal names. So the features of a cyber squatting: when a squatter buys a domain name that is usually a trademark of a company or the name of a specific company. So the importance of cyber squatting aims to profit from the confusion of consumers using Google and other search engines by registering or buying domain names with the same name as a registered trademark. So the disadvantage of a cyber squatting is likely to ignore it, and it could subject you to a declaratory judgment action. So we will go to the real case. So this is a real case about the cyber squatting. It's a Amul. The crimes that were done is made bogus bank account using Amul's name, send fake forms via email, ask for payment to become an Amul distributor and franchise store, run recruitment scams on the website, asking candidates to pay a fee to submit job application. So the punishment and convictions: finally, Amul issue a public notice to warning people about the scams and took legal steps to deal with the issues. So this is any relevant information about the Amul. The the company become the victim of cyber squatting when someone bought the following domains and make phishing site like amuldistributor.com, amulbot.com, amulfront.org.in, and amuldistributorindia.com. So we will go. So next we will go to the identify theft. So the introduction of identify theft happens when someone use your legal name, credit card number, social security number, password, or pins of your financial accounts to make purchase, get cash, or commit fraud in your name. Sorry. So the definitions of identify theft is the crime of obtaining the personal or financial information of another person to use their identity to commit fraud, such as making unauthorized transaction or purchase. So the features about the identified theft is a financial identified theft, social security identity theft, synthetic identified theft, medical identified theft, and more than that. So the disadvantage about the identified theft is a damaged credit, that's the a criminal record, lost time, and money. So the importance about the identified theft for identity theft is a easier to protect yourself and to be proactive in securing your identity than it is to undo the damage than by having your identity stolen. So the real case of the Identify death is a confess to unemployment benefit scam in music video. So the crimes that were done is how fraudsters have been filing unemployment claims during the COVID-19 jobs recession using stolen tax identities. So the criminals in October 2020, foreign based aka Nook Bezel 31, a rapper from Tennis, was arrested on 3 felony counts of access device fraud, aggravated identity theft, and interstate transportation of stolen property. So the punishment and convictions of the criminals is a brings fees up to 22 years in a federal prison. The U.S. Attorney's Office said for fraudulently obtaining unemployment is insurance benefits under the coronavirus aid relief and economic security. So there have any relevant information about the confess to unemployment benefits scam in music video. So next we will go to the salami slicing. So the introduction of a salami slicing is a technique by which cyber criminals steal money or resources a bit at a time so that there's no noticeable difference in overall size. The perpetrator get away with these little pieces of from a large number of resources and thus accumulates a considerable amount over a period of time. So the features about the salami slicing have two internal attacks and external attacks. The definitions of a salami slicing is described as a strategy that involves devise and conquer process of threats and aliens or to overcome options and acquire new terrorists. So the disadvantage about the salami slice is can destroy critical service, take no account of the voice of the customer, take no account of the themes of previous resources allocations, take no account of efficiency, take no account of the sustainability. So we will go to the salami real case. So salami slicing real case of a executive of a rental car franchise in Florida. So the criminal that were done in January 1993 for executive of a rental car franchise in Florida were charged with defrauding at least 47,000 customers using a salami technique. So the criminals is a Peter G. Newman wrote in Risk 80.75 that in January 1997, William Robinson, 22, of a Liberty Town, Maryland. So the punishment and convictions of the criminals is a sentence to 10 years in prisons. And this is any relevant information is the fraud was difficult to prove initially because the preparations program the chips to deliver exactly the right amount of gasoline when asked for 5 and 10-gallon amounts, precisely the amounts typically used by inspectors. So the conclusion is data is essential in the conduct of numerous cybercrimes, and cybercrimes vulnerabilities alter data offers users. With numerous options, this advantage may abused for illegal purpose by some. Data collection, storage, analysis, and sharing in particular enable numerous cybercrimes as well as the enormous acquisition, storage, use, and dissemination of data without users' informed knowledge and choice. So that's all from me. Thank you.